This is the second video of a three-part series about how humans hold conflicting beliefs and behaviors. More generally, you can refer to this as cognitive dissonance, which is the awareness that these conflicting beliefs and behaviors exist. And the term cognitive dissonance was coined by Leon Festinger in 1957 in a paper. And what he did is he had people come into the experiment room and do a very repetitive, boring task where they had to move blocks around. And at the end of the hour, one group of participants was given $1, and they were asked to tell the next participant that this was an enjoyable, fun task. Another group of participants was given $20, and they were also asked to tell the next person that it was an enjoyable task. Now, the group that was given $1 experienced cognitive dissonance because they didn't have a justification for lying to the next participant that the task was enjoyable. So the group that was given $20 and who told the next participant that the task was fun didn't experience as much cognitive dissonance because they were happy to lie about the task being fun because they got $20. And they'll believe that it's all right. If I tell this person that the task is fun, they'll assume that they're going to get $20 too. And so it's all worth it. It's all fine. If you're given $1, you're not really justified in telling a lie that the task was fun. And so now you create a situation with cognitive dissonance. And that dissonance has to be resolved. And the way that dissonance is resolved is by psychologically believing that the task actually was fun. So the group that was paid $1, when they were reported later of their experience, were more likely to believe that they enjoyed the task. So they literally psychologically got themselves to believe that they enjoyed the task so that there wasn't dissonance when they told the next participant that the task was enjoyable. This is a very strong effect of a very simple manipulation. And when we experience cognitive dissonance, there are generally three different ways that we resolve that dissonance. The first is that we come up with new ideas. And one of the common examples given is through smoking. So if you smoke and you discover that smoking's bad for you, then you can come up with new ideas that resolve the dissonance in that you might say, well, I exercise every day, or I eat healthy, or we're all going to die anyway. These are all justifications that when you're confronted with the notion that smoking is bad, remove the dissonance in your own belief that you don't want to be engaging in unhealthy behaviors. Another way to remove dissonance is to reject the information that creates dissonance. So if you're told that smoking is bad, then you might just deny that that's true, or maybe it's not as bad as they think it is. And the third way is that you change your behavior. So when you're confronted with the notion that you are smoking and that it actually is bad for you, then you can reduce your smoking or you can quit smoking. And now the difficulty of integrating this belief and that behavior is removed and you're consistent. You have consistency. Now, the study that I referred to earlier with the blocks is the scientific demonstration of cognitive dissonance. And as I talked about in the first video of this series, the notion of dissonance has been something that we've been aware of as humans for a long time. Many philosophers and artists have discussed and confronted the fact that there's conflicts in our human beliefs. It's been prominent in our human culture to think about this and to acknowledge it. So it's interesting to think about where Leon Festinger came from in developing his interest in cognitive dissonance. And it turns out that a year before his paper came out, he published a book called When Prophecy Fails, where he looked at the beliefs of people who are in cults. Now, if you think about this, this is like one of the most extreme examples of dissonance that somebody can have, which is that they think that the world is going to end or there's going to be some catastrophic event, and then that event doesn't happen. And there's a huge dissonance created. So in the example of the participants he looked at, this group of people believed that an alien spacecraft was going to land on Earth and rescue them from a catastrophe. So they all assembled and they gave up on their employment, they gave up on their schooling, their possessions. They lost a lot of friends and family through their beliefs. So they made a lot of sacrifices based on this belief of what would happen. Well, the spaceship didn't arrive on Earth, and it turned out when they were confronted with this dissonance, it actually deepened their faith among a lot of the members. It actually brought them close together. So in some sense, they dealt with this dissonance with denial. And they also created new thoughts, which is that the aliens had given planet Earth a second chance. So they basically generated new thoughts that helped remove the dissonance and helped explain what had happened. And cognitive dissonance and the awareness of cognitive dissonance can be applied to social issues as well. For example, there was a study, which I'll provide a link to below, where they asked participants to publicly advocate for safe sex through condom use. And what they found is the participants who had the most previous failures in condom use, that is, the participants that had the most dissonance between becoming a vocal advocate for safe sex and their own past behavior, were more likely to purchase condoms from the experimenter at the end of the experiment. So when they were faced with dissonance, they actually changed their behavior to try to remove the cognitive dissonance. So this is the second part of a 3-part series on how humans deal with conflicting information and conflicting behaviors. And in general, that refers to cognitive dissonance. So in the third part of this series, we're going to be looking at how cognitive dissonance can be used in marketing to influence people. So thanks for checking out this video. Hit the subscribe and the bell if you want to be notified of new posts. And we're posting regularly on human psychology. So hit the like if you like this and the share if you'd like to share it to your social media. And thanks for checking this out.